Now we're going to work on construction of a centroid. So remember, a centroid is the balancing point of your triangle, and it is made by constructing the medians. Remember that a median is when you connect the midpoint of each side with the opposite vertex. So we're going to be using perpendicular bisectors again, except we're not going to draw the lines in. We only need to find out where that midpoint is. So to do a perpendicular bisector, remember, you're going to start by opening your compass to more than half the distance of the side that you're bisecting. And that would be this long side right here. So I'm going to draw some arcs. Now the problem with construction is that it does get kind of messy looking. And then you can't always tell exactly which arcs you're working with. So it's really important not to get distracted while doing this. Okay, so here's the midpoint. This would be the perpendicular bisector, but we don't need to draw that. We just need the midpoint. And then we're going to connect the midpoint to the opposite vertex. Okay, now we're going to do another side, and I'm going to change my compass length because it doesn't need to be as long, and that will help me keep my arc straight. I'm doing the short side now. So with your pointy end of your compass on the end point of the segment, we're going to draw arcs above and below that line, or to the right and to the left of that line in this case. That line segment. Okay, so here is our perpendicular bisector of that side, but remember, we don't need the whole line, we just need the midpoint. It would be right here. We need the midpoint, and we're going to connect that midpoint to the opposite vertex. Now remember, once we've constructed two of these, we really already know where the point is going to be, because it's got to be where they're connecting, or where they're crossing. That's going to be our balancing point, but we've got to bisect the last side of this triangle. So I'm going to change my compass again. Remember, when we're making most of these arcs, we can't be changing the length of the compass. But when we start each new side, we can. And if you forget which arc it was that you were working with, just go back and look at it again. Oh, there it is. Okay, you can also kind of guess exactly where it's going to be. Okay, now remember, we're not trying to make these lines cross, we're just trying to find the midpoint. Oops, I need a different color. Okay, there's the midpoint, and this is where the line, the perpendicular bisector would be, right there. Okay, so there's our midpoint, and we connect that to the opposite vertex, and there it goes, right through the centroid. Okay, and I can't really show you what it can do like I did before, because I would need to balance it in this piece of paper, so it's not stiff enough to balance.